good afternoon and welcome to this special Islandstad Sports Talk. I'm joined by the president of the Bermuda Cricket Board, Mr. Arnold Manders. Three big things going on in a space of a matter of days, Mr. President. You've only been in the position, what, week 2, week 3?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I guess I'm like Biden, president, what they call him?
President-elect?
He president-elect.
But you got to hit the ground running.
Yeah, that's
obviously
for sure.
the ICC has announced the ICC has announced the qualifying round for the under-19s. They released today the qualifying round for the men's T20, and of course they're going through elections for the executive board of the ICC, which will see hopefully Neil Spate re-elected after some time off the board. But in chronicle order, let's talk a little bit about the under-19s, because that team is near and dear to your heart. You've spent a lot of time with those young men. What is the plan, or what are your early plans for that particular team?
We obviously got to hit the ground running again. We will have a meeting before the end of this year. The team, myself, the manager, Russell Richardson, and the other two coaches, Cal and Lorenzo. So we'll make the plans going forward. I mean, we know what we have to do, but with COVID-19 now, finding facilities and trying to organize sessions with only 10 right now, it's going to be, well, it's not going to be a problem because we started it. We were the first sport to start training some time ago in June. So I think we're ready to do that. I've just got to sit down and organize ourselves. By the time I think we train, I'm thinking we're going to start in February, because that gives us time to meet, select the squad, do the program, find the facilities and the times and day and time that we're going to train, probably 2 or 3 times a week, 48 months until we get into the tournament. The tournament's in the United States. I'm not too sure about that as far as the COVID-19 situation, but I believe we got to just make sure we're prepared if and when we have to go.
Yeah. Now the fact that you are holding a dual position, how do you think it affects the job itself at hand? Because these young men require a lot of attention, and so does your new position.
No, I haven't received yet.
Okay, one thing. No, I mean, I'm thought about it. I don't think I could do it. They're just like they're like my own little children. You know what I mean? I'll find a way to do it one way or the other. So I thought about it, but then people start to talk, and I think they're dear to my heart. I mean, I really enjoyed working with them over the summer and right through the summer actually. We had a squad of 60 from 11-year-olds right up into 16, 17. So 60-something players. But we'll break that down to training with the older ones and probably a few of the younger ones, so that they get to see what their training's going to be like. And they're promising enough where they probably could get 2 or 3 tournaments out of it if they are good enough to make this one. So we'll do it according to with our better players, but with the intention of trying to get some of the younger ones in that have the potential to play against the under-19s. ICC has put in their regulations now that they couldn't play. You can't play unless you're 15, so it won't be anybody under 15.
Yeah. Okay. Now thrown into the mix today, obviously, a month before the under-19 tournament is the T20 qualifiers in Canada, I believe. So there's a possibility.
No, that's in the United States.
United States as well? Okay,
Yes.
United States as well. But there's a possibility that some of your under-19s could possibly make that sport as well, isn't it?
I have some that could possibly make it. That's up to them. Selection committee as well. I'm wearing like 3 hats. I'm also in chairman of the high performance. So we're trying to get that organized now as we speak to get the senior started training and looking at, the coaching part and doing up a program for them to make sure that they have a fair chance of qualifying as well.
We obviously, the talk will come up. The senior men's tournament is what, a week before cup match, or scheduled a week before cup match. Always that dilemma, what are you hoping this year brings for our cricket internationally?
Well, we're just trying to get ourselves together. I mean, it's a couple of new people, one executive, trying to improve our programs. We're currently in the stage of doing a 4 or 5 year strategic plan, which should be finished in March with the ICC Americas. We just have to put ourselves and give them a fair chance of trying to qualify, which means, but that comes with the players as well, because they have to make an effort and, try and improve every training session and every match, so that, it makes it hard for selectors to pick a team. So I think for me, if it was me, I'd probably try to keep some of the older statesmen and push the younger ones as well, so we can land a team that will be capable of qualifying.
Over the years, we've seen a lot of administration accolades pointed towards Bermuda, but we haven't seen the same response on the field. How do you think under your administration this will kind of come together? Because we keep talking about a strategic plan and 5 years down the road, but that goalpost keeps getting moved.
You're so right about that. Well, the thing for me is being, avid sportsman and administrator, that I think we always look to win first instead of following the process. So we're going to try to make sure there's monitoring of our programs, and that the programs that are supposed to be run, they're done at their best. And then you just, like I said before, the players have to play a part as well. But as long as we can give them everything and provide them with all the tools to, give them a chance of winning, and that's all we can ask. But the strategic plan will lay the groundwork for the future, and that's what I'm looking at.
Are you a bit excited the fact that these two particular tournaments will happen during our season? Because usually whenever there's a major event, it's always outside of our season.
Yeah, that's for sure. But now we have that cup match issue. But in our day, in my day, that if it came between cup match and representing your country, we would represent the country. But that's a player's decision. It's nothing we can do about if they decide to ignore the country and play cup match. That's their thing.
Yeah. How does cricket plan to get that national pride? We saw that national pride a year or two ago when the football team were successful. We saw that national pride at White Hill Field when the team won the advance in the T20. But how quickly we forget, or how quickly we could change when the results don't go that way. How do you, as your administration, plan to kind of get the country to rally behind the players regardless of the result?
Bermudians are going to be Bermudians. They like teams that win. So, you know what? All I can say is that we're going to, the board itself from previous to now, we're just going to try and get this strategic plan done with our 4 priorities, and set, the plan and follow it, and make sure that we complete the task that we're supposed to, which means, we'll try to get more kids, particularly girls, playing. With the funding that's coming out from the ICC, it's not enough for us to sustain our, our programs. So we're going to have to look for outside funding. And then we have to improve our high performance programs from under 13s, under 15s, under 17s, which is the under 19s, National Academy, and then our under 19s and seniors. If we can get the right people in place with the programs that we already have written, and monitor and make sure that it's followed through with integrity, then you can see the growth. You'll see the growth coming through.
Yeah. How much of that agreement that we have with Antigua are you looking to kind of facilitate this year to assist in preparation for international competition?
I haven't got to think that far yet. We're just trying to get the programs up, organized, and running. I think the League's president or somebody reached out to us about them participating in our coach ed coaching program, which is we're trying to get every club to have an accredited coach, and we have one or two elite openings for coaches that want to go into high performance. We got a special deal with that. It's run by Gary Kirsten. So it's an online course which is unique now, particularly with COVID-19. Can't have coaching things going on now. So the online and probably practical, which probably the high performance people will be in charge of. So they reached out to see if they can join that platform. So that's the first thing that's happened since that MOU. But we are looking to try and tap into that resource as well.
Now, obviously, starting today, elections for executive for the ICC and one Neil Spade has been put forward. How significant is it to have somebody from this region? I know USA have someone put forward as well, but the rest come from the Asian side. One guy from Scotland, but the rest come from the Asian side. How important is it that we have representation from this side?
Well, Neil is well known throughout the ICC and particularly in the associates, so I think he has a good chance of getting into that position. I'm not sure about the rest. I think maybe I think it's the representative from Argentina might have a strong chance as well, but then it's the United States who's in there. It's about 9 candidates, 10 candidates.
Yeah,
they're all strong candidates if you look at it. But for us, I would prefer to promote from our side so that we have somebody on that board that's going to help make decisions, that's going to assist the little small associate countries.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can get 2, if not 3 of them on there, that'd be even good. That'd be even better.
One of the significant things that we see a lot of times is that we get the 3 spots for the associates, but how much weight do they play in the real world of voting around the table? Because the big boys kind of seem to tend to stick together.
And that's the truth. So the associates have to try and stick together. We don't have as much clout as the Indians and the Australians and the South Africans and the New Zealanders. But you got to have somebody one that's going to represent you. If not, if we don't have those 3, they can do as they please. But I think if we can get on board the 3 that we would like, they will be pushing for. I mean, everybody makes what you say, the goal, what they want to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times, it's just to get the vote and they end up going their way.
They have the pre-agenda.
Yeah. So they got to be careful. I mean, you take a chance. If it works, it works. If it don't, but if we can get Neil on board, that's a voice for us in this region. If we can get Matt on, that's another. That's 2 in this region. But we'll see.
In the initial talks about the under-19s, have they talked about aging out? What's the latest with the age? Because they didn't have the tournament this year.
That's the thing I brought up with the ICC Americas. But the tournament's going to be played this year. If it's not played, then those ones that is the last one, they're just going to have to miss out. There's nothing we can do about it. This is a pandemic. It's first in my lifetime that's been a pandemic for been years. I don't think anybody's been here since the last pandemic. So, I mean, it is what it is. You just got to soldier on and try to do the best that you can.
Yeah. How do we prepare for both the under-19s and the men's T20? Because we tend to play on surfaces here in Bermuda that we get used to, but then when we go away, we tend to struggle on the surfaces early in our games. So how do we plan to prepare?
That's something for the coaches, but if it was for me, I mean, you got to find the best surfaces, even if it means you're playing on AstroTurf. It's true. You know when the ball hits certain areas, it's going to bounce. It's a lot of things you can do as a coach to prepare. But for me, the main thing is making sure we have a program that's going to assist players to improve their game, and it's going to, you know, like I said again, I could take my horse to the water. If they want to drink the water, it's not going to drink it. The players are the biggest part of this. They got to make sure that they know their game inside and out, batting and burning. They need to know the strategic plans for the team when it comes to batting and burning, who bowls when, where field places should be, when you're batting, setting your targets, knowing how you're going to play a quickie, how you're going to play the medium pacer, how you're going to play the off spinner, the left arm spinner. All of that has to come into play. And I think, for me, I would say Bermudians are mindless cricketers. They get out the same way time and time again. They get out to the same people same time, the same field and position they get out. And then they go back the next year and do the same thing again instead of trying to understand about how that happened and why that happened. What can I do to rectify it? We need to get our players to move from being mindless cricketers to smart cricketers. That's my goal, particularly for the high performance and bringing the clubs, because the next problem is that when they leave the clubs from a mediocre program, most of them, and move into the senior team and international cricket, they find out that, they lack a lot of the skills that they need to have in order to be successful. So we need to put some emphasis in the clubs and the club coaches, which is what we're going to try to do, so that it's not that much of a gap when they move for the first time from the club into the national squad.
Now, as a coach of the under-19 class over the course of the summer, one of the major problems that your team had was the extras. How much emphasis will you be putting on that early in the training to bring that down, to get that under control?
Yeah, I think the more they play, the better they'll get. It's hard, difficult when you've just been training all and then you're put into a game situation. That's what a lot of people don't understand. When you train, and that's what we're trying to implore to them, that when you train, you should be training like you're in a game. So if I'm batting in the nets and I'm working on something, I still don't want to get out. I'm not getting out. And you practice your shots. You do what you need to do. And the mental part, again, is a big part of it. A lot of our players are young, and it's trying to teach them how to, control the controllables. You can't make someone bowl a ball where you want it to. If it's raining and the umpire says you got to play, you got to play. If somebody's on the sideline calling you something, it goes in one ear out the other ear. You don't have any control over that. The only thing you have control over is what you can do yourself as a player.
Looking down the road, what would you consider to be your major task for your first year as president?
Repeat that. You were breaking up a little bit, Earl.
Okay. What would you consider to be your major task in your first year as president of the Bermuda Cricket Board?
I guess the major task is completing the strategic plan. For me, that's the most important part, because you need to put that in place and then follow it to make sure we can, give ourselves a chance of getting back where we were before. Obviously, it would be good if we can get one or both to qualify for the next series of qualifiers. Well, actually, no, the under-19s, if they win, will go straight through to the World Cup.
Yes.
Whereas the seniors, they would have to win the Americas and then go through to another round. So if we can get them to do as they did before and get through to the next one and provide them the tools where they can have an opportunity of qualifying for the 2020 World Cup, then that will be it for me, particularly for this year.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Mr. President, Mr. Coach, Mr. Director, thank you very much for your time. We'll stay in touch, because obviously other things will be developing as time goes on, especially once we get into the new year, with team selections and training schedules and all that. So happy holidays to you. All the best. And we'll talk to you on the other side.
Yeah, mate. Thanks a lot, see.
All righty. Thank you.